Alright, what's up, Coxman? This is Black Bolt here. Blake recommended, or actually I made a joke to Blake about recording my videos and, using them as tutorials to help out the clan. And I always thought about maybe becoming a YouTuber, so maybe I will. It's still a possibility for me, but I thought I'd make this for you guys at least. It's going to be a bit of a Valk strategy, but it also is going to have other just general tips and just my own. I'm not saying that what I'm saying is completely right. It's just what I found to help me succeed. And if you take a little bit of tips from everybody, you're going to find your own strategy and your own way that works. But let's get right into it. Let me get into the Warlog Sagan War Clan. Sadly, we had a pretty damn tough matchup, but let's go to the attack. So, I'm not saying I'm a pro or anything. My first attack was no heroes, and I 2-starred. It was shitty, 89%, and it wasn't even that good of a base. So I'm not going to bother showing you that. I obviously made some mistakes. But I will show you the one that went really successfully. And it was, let's see if I can find him, Trabo. So I started off, down here at TMC, 89% of it, and then went up and actually 3-starred. Still no heroes. But quite shocking. I really wasn't expecting to 3-star, especially after not on a worse base. But yeah, if I can figure out paint and stuff and be like the Hulk files, that'd be pretty sweet. But I'm not that cool yet, so just watch the mouse when I'm talking. That's kind of be my pointer. So here's the first thing I noticed when I see the base. It's open on the outside. That's great. I like when it's open on the outside, and I had a suspicion that there were going to be Teslas here and here because a lot of people like to try to lead you around. And to me, I'm totally fine with that. When my golems go to the outside of the base and are tanking all the outside buildings, and I have a couple of wizards following them down the outside of the base, and my main force, which in this case would be Valks, and my heroes, if I had them going in the center and just destroying, that's exactly what I like. Those are the bases that I know that I have a really good shot at 3-starring. So let's look at my troops real quick. I have 1 jump, 1 rage, 2 heals. The reason why is Valk's weakness is walls, and even GoVaWiWis and stuff like that. Having a jump is still GoVaWiWi pay. Or go wipe, I guess. That's effective. I have a jump too, and it's just because walls are really like your go wipes and GoVaWiWis and GoVaWiWis. They can get into the core really easily. They struggle getting out of the core, and you'll just have you can see here these archer towers, whiz towers. That stuff will just be pounding them while they're trying to get out of the core, and yeah, so it's good to have a jump spell. I used to not use a jump spell at all. As I've done a lot more attacks, I've seen that it can be really useful. I'm not saying every base requires a jump spell, but definitely ones where you're using Valks, for sure. I would say a jump spell is pretty required. But you'll notice I don't jump into the core, and the reason being is there's an Archer Queen here, and the CC, and I know it's going to be a tough CC to pull, and I really didn't want to bother wasting a lot of troops to pull it. So I always have really found effective using a rage and a heal on your troops once they start fighting the CC is going to be great. It's going to work wonders for you. So going into this, I knew I wasn't going to jump in. Knew I was planning on jumping out. And yeah, so let's kind of get into it a little bit, and I'll kind of explain as we're going here. So first thing I do here is I drop the 2 golems off, and you'll see, one is on the left, one's on the right, and the reason being is, a lot of people group, or not a lot of people, but I've seen people who group their golems, and they're not doing anything. The splash damage hurting them both, and then you have the individual stuff. They're not, first of all, they're not covering enough room, and the goal of golems is to tank, and if you're not tanking as much things as you can, then you're not being as efficient as you can be. These golems my goal was to have them go on the outside, so they're going to start here at this archer tower and cannon, and you'll see these Teslas pop up, and that's going to help them go to the outside. They're going to split off to the outsides. So that worked out really well. I just realized, wow, this raid only took 1.5 minutes. That is pretty damn fast. With no heroes, dude. Holy shit. So, yeah, so I dropped those golems off first, and the goal is to just soak up all the damage on this side, so all my DPS then dropping down is untouched. They can do whatever the hell they want. And so you'll see as soon as those golems go down, wizards are popping out. Get those wizards down as soon as you can. I see people, they wait. I don't know what they're waiting for. I don't know if they're waiting to just watch your golems walk out the defense, but you want your wizards down fast. You want to get them down very fast because you want to clear this layer out so you can help them start killing the defenses that are hurting your golems. You know, the longer your golems can tank, the better the raid's going to be. And you do that through getting help to your golems. And, of course, they're going to be drawing in the CC soon, and you want your wizards to be killing the CC. You don't want to just sit there and have your golems getting destroyed by the CC. So I get it down right away. I drop 2 on the elixir storage because it has a lot of health points, and I know it's going to take a little bit more. And then I drop some over here. And this is just funneling, and it's, funneling 101. If you don't understand funneling, you're most likely not in our clan anyways, so, or you won't be in long. But yeah, I guess I give a quick recap is destroy the outside building so that all your troops are forced, because a troop will go to the nearest building, so it'll force them to go to the center. So yeah, that's what I'm doing here. It's real basic stuff. So I get my wizards out, and you'll see I actually deploy all of them. Now I know some people like saving wizards, and believe me, there's times when I go, God damn, why didn't I save wizards? But there's also something which is exponential in this game, and I don't want to get all math on you, but like if you have a second wizard out there at the time, let's say he kills an archer tower, that's that much less damage that's hitting your troops, which then since that troop's still alive, it's going to be able to kill another thing that it wouldn't have been able to if that wizard tower. So I just like going for gold. I like dropping it all out there, and hopefully that I place my stuff right and everything goes right. So that's just kind of my own style. But for Town Hall 10s, it's definitely a lot different. You might want to save some troops to get to 50% or something. But this is specifically for Town Hall 9 and using Valks. So let's get right into it. So I dropped the 2 witches, one to the right, one to the left. Just kind of same concept of just, I want the witch to follow that golem to the left. I want the witch on the right to follow the right golem down. Also, these skeletons are probably going to help go kill the CC on the left one. So that's going to benefit me as well. So let's continue. Now, right here is something I want to point out. First of all, this giant bomb's going off, and I guess we could call it lucky that I didn't have a ton of my stuff just coming right down the middle. But so I only lose 2 wizards, I believe. 2 wizards, a giant, or not a giant, wall breaker. But right here, the clan castle troops, a lot of them aren't even out yet, and they only like 5 archers are hitting that golem. And I already have all this DPS that's going to be, they're going to kill this dark barracks so quickly, and they're going to be on top of that CC in no time. So, like, a lot of times I'll see that golems have been sitting there, they'll tank the entire CC, die, and then your DPS gets there. And it's like, well, now nothing's tanking, they're just going to get destroyed. So you want to try to get your DPS to your golem, your tanks, whatever you're using to tank, right away, because the CC will do so much damage. It is the most damaging defensive structure because of just what's in it. I mean, unless it's filled with wall breakers, but that never happens. So, yeah, so let's continue here. So here's the Valks start coming out, and I just noticed now that I think two veer off to the right. I don't know what happened. I like keeping my Valks grouped. it ends up not being a big deal because what's it going to do is just going to follow that golem and help it out, and I'm totally fine with that because most of my hard-hitting force is going towards the center. So yeah, so I drop them as a group because I want them together because they're the most effective when they're together. And so that golem is still alive, and it just now breaks. I get a heal off, and they're heading right towards the CC troops. The Archer Queen was drawing my troops in like I wanted. The CC troops are drawing them in where I want. I'm going towards the core now, not having to use a jump. My heal comes down, and my rage is going to come down right after. Now, a lot of people say don't use rage and heal together. The rage speeds them up out of the heal. It's not effective. But when you're killing CC troops, your troops take a while to clear that. You know, like they're going to be sitting in that heal, and it's going to be a spell well used. Because not only are they getting hit by the wizard tower, they're getting hit by 20 archers or whatever's in there and wizard. So you really need the heal, and you really need the rage to clear them quickly. And it's worth it. We're going to continue. So then Valks and Wizards are going to get on the AQ after the CC was cleaned up. And we're going to get in to kill that Wizard Tower. And right here I wanted to note, boom. So you'll see it looks like 5 Valks branch off to this way, and 3 branch off this way. I think it was 3. It's something like that. And I get really lucky that this happens because I'll admit, if it was the other way around, they would have broke through the other wall first, and they would have went outside. So I'm not going to say that, you know, this is a flawless raid. You know, wow, I'm amazing. I did get lucky here, but a lot of times if you put yourself in the position to get lucky, I mean, that's skill, you know. That is somewhat skill. So I did get lucky here, but I also had my troops in the right spot. I had the plan that the, you know, CC was going to draw me in. So let's continue. They're going to break through right there. And as you see, the walls barely hold up on the outside, which is great for me. My troops are going to want to go in the core. And they're going to kill this BK really quickly. You'll see just one shot him. He's gone. Valks are just ridiculously powerful in a group. And this is where Valks really shine. Valks are so good. When you want to use Valks, if you see a big core. The bigger the core, the more you want to use Valks. I mean, this core isn't ridiculously big, but it's pretty dang big. It's the majority of his base is the core. Or where the majority of the important buildings are anyways. So, you know, this is where Valks shine. They'll go into multiple buildings at once and just rip apart the core. And I dropped my CC back here. I forgot to note it. P.E.K.K.A. actually went outside, which, you know, in this case, I would have, without heroes, I really would have wished he went in the center. But it ends up working out. He'll clear out that side with those 3 heroes. If you see, this is like a perfect time to pause too, because these golems are going down the side like I said they would. And the mini golems right here, I don't know if you can see my mouse, and the big golem actually is still alive. And that Valk that went that way is helping out with the witch that I thought was going to go that way as well. And these 2 heroes are actually going inside, which, you know, I don't like, but they're following down the base just as I had planned. And that's a great feeling when things go when you the way you planned it. But so these Valks are going to start tearing up the core for me. That P.E.K.K.A.'s just going down the outside. And right here is where they're about to finish up the core. I can see that they're about to finish up the core, and I have to think, where am I putting my jump spell? And looking back on it now, you know, you can see crystal clear in hindsight. But if you look, here might have been the better spot where I'm circling, because that is clearly, there's more buildings like this. This is helping me go backwards and forwards, where this would have been helping me go forwards and forward. Well, I don't know if that makes sense, but it definitely would have been more effective here, because then they could have jumped in, killed all this, jumped in, killed all that. Luckily, I still have a witch here, wizards. They're going to clean this up for me while they go to the right. So maybe it would have been worse if I had him go to the left. I don't know. Looking at it now, I probably would have put it here. Actually, maybe I'd leave it because I know I have a 3-star, but I could see this also being really effective. So let's continue. I put the jump spell down because I knew they were about to finish the core. It also helps these wizards jump out.